Hi guys, how you all going? So these are my top 5 favourite movies of 2024. Now my top 10 are actually in the YouTube short, which I'll link in the description of this video. But these are my top 5 favourite movies of 2024. Number 5, Bad Boys Ride or Die. I really enjoyed this movie. It felt like a strong throwback to those classic action movies of the 80s, 90s, or even early 2000s. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence's chemistry, fantastic as always. Some solid action, yet the stunts, there weren't really any crazy stunts like there were in Mission Impossible or John Wick, but overall, the action I thought was on point. The storyline was solid. I'm not going to say fantastic or anything like that, but the storyline was solid. I enjoyed some of the supporting characters as well. Cinematography was pretty good. I liked the soundtrack. The Black Eyed Peas did a song as well, which I liked. This was the second installment directed by Dylan Bilal after Bad Boys for Life, which I also enjoyed. Generally speaking, not a massive fan of the Bad Boys franchise, but at number 5, I have Bad Boys Ride or Die. At number 4, I have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This movie blew me away. The cinematography, the visual effects, the motion capture, all top notch. The performances were also great. A standout was Kevin Durant as Proxima Caesar. I thought was absolutely fantastic. He was very menacing, he was very chilling. Really enjoyed his character in the movie, and I enjoyed him as the main villain in this film. I also quite enjoyed the main human character played by Freya Allen. In the movie, she plays a girl named Nova, her name is actually revealed to be May as the movie progresses. We initially believe she's actually mute, even though we find out she's actually not. This movie's ending as well, I thought was pretty good. It does set up future installments, but I quite enjoy the direction they decided to take the ending in, like setting up future installments, etc. At times, this movie did feel like a bit of a copy and paste of War for Planet of the Apes from 2017, like the whole prison breakout, etc. But overall, number 4, Kingdom Planet of the Apes, blew me away, and I think it should have done a lot better at the box office personally. At number 3, I have Deadpool Wolverine. Now, I really enjoyed this film. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds' chemistry was fantastic. I will say this movie's storyline wasn't great, but the cameos in this movie were fantastic. Like, for example, Chris Evans, not as Steve Rogers, but instead as Johnny Storm, so Human Torch from Fantastic Four. Also, Wesley Snipes as Blade. Jennifer Garner as Elektra. Almost said Carmen Electra there. So the cameos were great. I also enjoyed the main villain, Cassandra Nova. She was pretty good, I thought. I also enjoyed Matthew McFadden as the secondary antagonist, who's also, his actor. He was also in the Succession TV show, which he won 2 Emmys for. But yes, Deadpool Wolverine I thought was great. The soundtrack as well was great. The songs they used, like a Prayer by Madonna, I'm With You by Avril Lavigne. So at number 3, Deadpool Wolverine. At number 2, I have Gladiator II. Now, I just can't believe the negative reviews I've been seeing for this movie online. I thought this movie was actually really good. Now, I will say it's not as good as Gladiator 1, and yes, they do reuse story elements and also some soundtrack. Also, some of the soundtrack is reused from Gladiator 1, but overall, I thought this story was pretty good. I didn't quite feel the same emotional connection to Lucius as I did with Maximus in Gladiator 1, but this movie's battle sequences, fight sequences, fantastic. The cinematography of like the Colosseum, incredible. The emotion I thought was pretty good as well, especially the scenes between Lucius and his mum, Lucilla. Denzel Washington was a standout in this movie. He was, as usual, fantastic. Really, really great. Really, really good actor. He is one of the greatest actors of all time. And yes, I also like Paul Mescal in this movie. Pedro Pascal. I enjoyed Connie Nielsen in the scene she had. I do have a few criticisms, like, for example, reusing some story beats, not feeling the same emotional connection to Lucius as I did with Maximus in the first movie. But overall, I thought Gladiator 2 was incredible and a lot better than Napoleon. I mentioned Napoleon because, yes, that was also directed by Ridley Scott, but the writer of Gladiator 2, David Scarpa, also wrote Napoleon, and yes, I'll be honest, Napoleon was trash. And at number 1, my favourite movie of 2024 was Dune Part 2. This movie blew me away. The storyline, the lore, the visuals, the cinematography, the performances, all top notch. The pacing was great in my opinion. Stand-up performances in this movie included Austin Butler as Fade Roth. Timothy Chalamet was fantastic, I'm not going to lie, he was great. I also thought Zendaya was actually pretty good. I know some people like to criticise Zendaya. I thought she was great in this movie, and I actually enjoyed her more in this movie than I did in the MCU Spider-Man trilogy. Didn't have a lot of screen time in Dune Part 1. Standout scenes in this movie included the scene where Paul Atreides summons the Grandfather Worm. Fantastic scene. Also, the final fight at the end between Paul Atreides and Fade Roth was fantastic. Also, the Paul Atreides' speech to the Fremen in this movie was absolutely outstanding. This movie was an absolute masterpiece. Now, I don't think it was perfect by any means. I think, for example, Princess of Rulan was a bit underutilized. So, Florence Pugh's character in the movie. The Emperor, I think, would have had a little bit more screen time as well. One thing I'll also mention about this movie, the opening sequence I thought was great. Rebecca Ferguson as well, I have to mention her as well. She was absolutely fantastic in this movie. Also quite menacing at times. I know her character's not evil, but she did feel quite menacing at times, especially becoming, the new lead of Ben Gesserit and all that. So yeah, this movie was fantastic. And yeah, if you haven't seen Dune Part 2, go watch it right now. An absolute masterpiece and my favourite movie of 2024. And I personally didn't even love Dune Part 1. I like Dune Part 1, but this movie just blew me away. But yeah, feel free to drop your top 5 favourite movies of 2024 below. Stay tuned for also check out in the link or in the description, I'll have my top 10 favourite movies of 2024 as a YouTube short. You can click the link and check it out. Have a good day, guys. Take care and keep watching movies. All right, bye.